Who's running the government? I mean, I know you know how this works, but the president's in charge.
Your president is.
Okay, there's a lot going on right now, and we will be going over all of the most recent meltdowns from CNN, MSNBC, and a little bit of Fox News revolving around the sanctions, getting rid of US aid, and Elon Musk, his involvement with the US government. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, because there's a lot to go over. But please, please, please like this video. It's the #1 way you can help this channel, and it makes sure you won't miss any other videos. Let's continue.
We're going to stop Elon Musk. What do you see as the most effective means of opposition to that, the scale of what you're describing there?
Fortunately, because they think they're dictators, they're trampling the civil service law. I mean, the heart of civil service law is you can't fire people for political reasons. That's why we have a civil service, as you know, and yet they are being very open and explicit about their doing that. I mean,
MSNBC loves that word dictator. Nonetheless, that is probably one of the biggest talking points currently, is the involvement with Elon Musk and the United States government, because it has just been announced that Elon is officially a special government employee. Let's continue the meltdowns.
I'm not. I have a whole list right here. I mean, if you want me to forward it to you, I will. But the reality is we have lots of money going to projects that don't do anything for the United States.
Cut those projects. Many governments do that.
Welcome to the Republican Party. That's what we're doing.
Why are you locking people out of their office?
Okay, quick context. This is why people are upset with Elon Musk. Essentially, the Department of Government Efficiency has uncovered that the agency USAID essentially is providing these odd programs that seem to be promoting left-leaning ideologies. Like, there's a soap opera that was created in an African country that was promoting a left-leaning ideology. You can go look that one up because it's true. And because of this, more left-leaning news personnel and people in government are saying, whoa, 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 Elon cannot be doing that. What is going on? Why are we shutting down US aid?
So I don't buy this argument that this is an effort to cut costs and make sure that there's not any government waste.
It's an effort to cut stupidity. These programs, and I could read out the whole list. If you'll give me 60 seconds, I'll read the whole thing. But there is a difference between smart soft power and dumb spending by left-wing ideologues who inhabit this bureaucracy.
This is the president's efforts to...
Now, Stephen Miller over on Fox News, he gives his analysis on what exactly is going on and why Democrats are freaking out.
They've rallied around the biggest losing rallying cry of all time, which is going to war for a swamp nest of bureaucrats at an agency called the U.S. Agency for International Development. Not American development, not developing East Palestine, Ohio, not developing the forgotten communities in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, not developing the border towns in Texas that have been run over by an illegal alien invasion for 4 years under Biden, but developing countries all over the world except our own.
And this is something I never really thought about, but Stephen Miller is right. This is a great talking point. Why would you be a Democrat when you're being accused already of the elitist party and not caring about Americans? Why are you fighting so hard for other countries and not fighting hard for an agency that's not helping internally? I think that's a really good talking point. Let me continue this clip.
There's probably no entity in the government that is more of an entrenched power center of unelected bureaucrats with less accountability, less oversight than USAID. They funnel money to their cronies all over the world through a swampy network of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and cutouts, including potentially some very troubling elements of focusing on things like regime change and destabilizing foreign countries. But this is not about America's interests.
So I want you to think about this. We have unelected officials, Elon Musk, versus unelected officials, the workers within USAID, and now you have elected officials representing their unelected officials versus elected officials representing their unelected officials. You can see why this is all getting very messy.
And it's also one part of a larger illegal and unconstitutional effort by this administration to gut the federal workforce and gut the federal government writ large. If they can get away with this with USAID, they can do it anywhere. And that means that no part of the federal government, including programs like Medicare and Social Security, will be safe from this administration. So it is illegal, and it is just the first stop.
Now, here's the thing. There is so much going on right now. I don't think elected officials and news agencies know what to tackle or battle as far as going after the opposition, Donald Trump and Elon Musk. In fact, I'm going to give a little credit to MSNBC for talking about this.
But overall, it's taken far too long, in my view, for elected officials to respond boldly. And when they do respond, those responses aren't often specific enough or bold enough. And it just hasn't been super clear all the time to me or to probably all of you what they're actually doing to push back on this hostile takeover.
And look, on this channel, I've always said I'm a Christian conservative. I have a bias on this channel, but I am even having difficulty finding clips or videos that give a little sincerity to the Democratic Party as far as giving their arguments or trying to give their side of the story. They are literally not able to keep up as far as what's going on with Panama, what's going on with Canada and Mexico, what is happening. This is because I really think they don't have any control of the independent media space, and they rely on the MSNBCs and CNN, and they only have limited time slots as far as trying to get their arguments out.
Bullying news organizations by demanding interview transcripts, implementing an FBI purge, locking federal workers out of their computers, and even turning them away at their offices while giving themselves, without congressional or any other authorization, full access to the personal data of tens of millions of Americans, including Social Security recipients, FBI agents and officials, military and government contractors, and every single employee of the federal government.
Now, there is a bit of a curveball that people are forgetting about, is that Elon Musk is now officially a quote-unquote special government employee. This is straight from the Trump administration. Now, to me, this implies that Elon Musk does have the credentials and the security clearance access to look into government files as far as trying to save money for the United States government. But the problem that MSNBC has and other elected officials is that what about the people internally within the Department of Government Efficiency? Are they allowed such access, and do they have the power to do what they're doing?
I mean, I don't know what Trump wanted in this situation. Again, he didn't actually get anything. But if he were to put these tariffs in place, they would be very painful for American consumers. Okay, Scott. I mean, this is
the total lie.
This is public information.
He got what he wanted. He got an agreement from our neighbors to do more on the border. That's what he wanted, and he got it.
Exactly what they have already been
I understand
doing.
you're the minister of propaganda tonight, but you don't have to be. You could just say, "Hey, all's well that ends well." Here, come on.
Okay, so one of the current meltdown topics are these sanctions. As I make this video, there is a 30-day timeline as far as implementing sanctions if Canada and Mexico does not help secure their borders. What left-leaning media is saying, Democrats, that, hey, conservatives, why don't you get a little more educated? Canada was already going to secure their border, so what's the problem here? Donald Trump didn't even do anything.
If you don't know that these countries are committing to do exactly what they have already been doing, either you haven't done your homework or you think the American people are idiots. Because again, they're doing
option three. Donald Trump is enforcing what needs to be done at the border, which is more help from our friends. They are our allies, and they are important people, but they need to help us, and they've not been helping us, and now they're going to help us even more.
They have been.
But the point is that it's also...
Ask every family with a fentanyl death how much they've been helping.
Scott, can I just ask you...
Well, they have done nothing more.
Scott...
This is why I play these clips. I cannot find any news stories, or at least anywhere where CNN really highlighted that Canada was going to help out Joe Biden, or that there were any legitimate discussions in January. All of a sudden, CNN is acting like, dude, this was public knowledge. What are you talking about? We've been talking about this forever. You need to get educated. This is the constant gaslighting and the insulting that a lot of left-leaning news personnel do to conservatives, and I think it's a terrible look, and it's one of the biggest reasons why people cannot get on board with the Democratic Party.
How is it a crime to know who those people are?
I don't know if it's a crime or not. I think it's certainly untoward to try to because you're trying to sick an angry mob on people who are showing up to try to
first of all,
act on behalf of the president.
First of all, this is his platform, okay? If his own platform is an angry mob, that's one thing, but he also does this all the time, and these are people who are doing things that affect Americans. They're working in the government.
Well, they're doing things to be a secret. They're doing things that affect the bureaucracy, which is why you see all the rage today.
You don't think that this stuff affects Americans, Scott?
I mean, yeah, probably in a positive way. And I'm glad to see Democrats are coming around to the idea that the unelected people who might be involved in the running of our country are important, because you seem to have no interest in that for the last 4 years under the last administration. Here's the bottom line. The American people.
Okay, so we have another meltdown dividing factor as far as Elon Musk. Looking into the Department of Government Efficiency, people are calling out specific members of the organization, saying where they live, saying who they are, and Elon is saying, well, hold on, this is doxing, but people are also saying, well, Elon, you did it to members of the federal government. However, he didn't call out specific locations and where they lived. That is what's currently happening to the members of the Department of Government Efficiency.
The American people. You know what that means is that you had a president who was not functional, and you know it. Actually,
by that same token, I mean, if you're concerned about the people around Joe Biden running the government, why aren't you concerned about?
Because I don't have any concern that this president is functional. He's a functional president, and Musk is an agent of the president.
Why are you not concerned that Elon Musk is, according to a lot of reports, someone that no one around the president wants to even cross because he's so powerful. And he has leverage over this president because he spent $250 million to get him elected.
Look, the president was elected. He runs the government. Elon Musk is an agent of the executive branch at the direction of the president. And as the president said today, he's not doing anything that he doesn't have permission to do. And I will just remind you all, one of the things he was elected to do is to shake up Washington, stop doing business as usual, and rein in an out-of-control bureaucracy that, as the Congresswoman correctly pointed out, is spending money in ways that was never intended.
Again, I know it's hard to believe, but as I make this video, we are only a few weeks into Donald Trump's presidency. So the tactic, as I actually said on this channel from day one, try and split up Elon Musk and Donald. At first, what they tried to do was make it an ego battle, that Elon is the president and not Donald. That didn't work because Donald said it's not even legal for him to be the president. Now let's chip away at the work the Department of Government Efficiency is doing, try to make them look bad, thus making Donald look bad. Again, I predict on this channel, and I hope I'm wrong, we are going to see this tactic for the entirety of Trump's administration while he's in office.
Look, the intention here was always to strip down the federal government. They wrote about it in Project 2025 to remove nonpartisan government actors and replace them with loyalists. That was always the play, right? To strip it down to the studs, to do what Elon did with X.
I promise I really try not to make MSNBC look like this evil news network who's trying to fearmonger the American people. But at the end of the day, I'm just playing the clips that are being played from the news network. This is what they're saying. And every time I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, they're always like, well, dictatorship. They're trying to strip away your rights. They're trying to form the government to be the Trump empire. Things like that, and it's quite sad, and I'm going to try to do my best to showcase a little bit of the better side of MSNBC, but it's getting more and more difficult as they try to smear and slander Elon and anything that Donald Trump does.
And we had millions of people into this country. Listen, I want you to understand. I want you to understand that I'm just going to clarify because people are confused, right? Border crossings were at historic levels under Joe Biden. 100% true.
Historically high.
Yes, historically high.
I just want to make sure it could be historically low.
No, like historically high levels under Joe Biden, 100%. But by the end of his term, before Donald Trump went into office, they decreased.
Why?
To a low level.
When and why?
Because finally, after 3 years, hold on.
No, that's not what happened. Look at the timeline.
They saw that
Look at the timeline.
Hold on, Carlos. You'll appreciate what I'm going to say. Because Joe Biden realized that the border was a political issue. He put in place programs that helped to stop the flow late in the game. He did it late. But here's the thing.
The more important thing is he got Mexico to send more troops to the border.
This is one of the biggest reasons why I love making these videos for you guys. And if you are still watching this video, I appreciate it. You have news anchors who will be like, hey, Joe Biden did a great thing, but overall it was a bad thing. But at the very end, everything was actually not that bad, but it was still bad at the same time. You see this all the time from CNN, especially in describing the border situation. I don't know why. Why can't we say Overall, the border situation was not great. For some reason, MSNBC and CNN, they always need to throw in, but it was getting a little bit better. Then why all of a sudden in December, supposedly, did Canada say, you know what, we are going to help out the United States? And when I say supposedly, I think Canada actually did want to help out, but it took a little bit of a kick in the butt to get them to actually implement the $1.1 billion deal they had to help out the United States.
Tomorrow, that means U.S. taxpayers are paying the salaries of USAID employees who are sitting home all week instructed to do nothing. That's a fraud that's being perpetuated on the taxpayers of the United States, that we're paying these people salaries and they are being told, don't report for work, don't do anything. And I guess the question everybody's asking today is why? Why is the Trump administration doing this? Who does this benefit? And that's something Congress has to get to the bottom of.
It's always funny to look at both sides of the spectrum, and unfortunately the way social media works is, and I'm sure many of you are conservatives on this channel, the algorithm tends to give you content that you want to see or either content you want to hate. But overall, all sides are saying, look, why are taxpayers paying for certain things that we don't agree with? On the left-leaning side, it's, hey, these workers are already being paid. Why don't they show up to work? On the right-leaning side, hey, why... we know we're paying for these workers, but why are we paying for the things that these workers are implementing in other countries that have nothing to do with the United States? So I actually think we all agree on a certain level. We just need to find a way to come together as Americans and as people who should love one another as far as what should we be paying for and not be paying for, and what is going to be for the better of the United States. And I know we have a lot of money and we should be helping out other countries, but right now, let us try to reset and figure out what is going on. And I think this is a good place to stop. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for everything, and we'll see you guys later.